It's time.
She's spilling the tea.
This is The Rumor Report with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
Yes, so Waka, Flocka, and Tammy Rivera are promoting their new WE TV reality show, Waka and Tammy with the Flocka. And one thing that they did discuss recently was prenups. Now, here is what Waka had to say about not wanting to have a prenup with Gary with the T.
Love don't stand on the same pedestal as money. And money could never stand on the same pedestal as love. If you love a person, it shouldn't be money. They shouldn't be sick, it shouldn't be fat, it shouldn't be no color, no shape, nothing. Now, for me, if I marry you and I'm this rich guy, you rich too. But I'm supposed to be the man to make your spirit rich. That's what's wrong with couples. People look at the money and don't pay attention to the spirit. See, that's a big difference. Because I can make my wife's spirit so rich to the point she'd be richer than me financially.
That's an interesting perspective. I mean, I can see people who look at it as, there's love, but then there's business.
Right.
But, I also feel like, when you do a prenup, you're kind of leaving the door open a little bit for things not to work out, maybe.
Not necessarily. Like if you're in a relationship like me and my wife, or you and your wife, Charlamagne, where you've been together since 16, 17 or whatever, 18, the person is there for you. But now you think of somebody who's a multi-millionaire that meets somebody. You just don't know what they're there for.
Very true. Very true. It's business.
Let me tell you something. I was watching this movie while I was at home, during all this time, A Marriage Story. Did y'all watch that on Netflix?
Mm-mm.
Oh, so this couple got married on there. And I think sometimes people don't anticipate what could potentially happen to protect themselves. And they spent so much money going through this whole thing with having to get a divorce and paying the lawyers all this money when they could have really sat down and worked it out themselves. But it can be really expensive if things don't work out and people do things that you might never expect. So I can understand both points of view. Like some people might be like, all right, we don't need it. But I can understand also just feeling like, look, I never know. Anything could potentially happen. So let me make sure I'm good. So I can see it both ways too.
Yeah, and to Envy's point, when you get into a relationship young like we did, I've been with my wife since high school. We ain't had nothing. So we wasn't thinking about no damn prenups. What were we going to split up? A pack of gum?
Yeah, so again, it's just hard to tell. I don't think anybody ever gets married with the intention of getting divorced, but the reality is it does happen. So for some people, prepare yourselves, right? Mm-hmm. All right, now let's talk about Shaquille O'Neal. He's been having a good time as far as surprising people. He was popping into some video lessons. First graders in Georgia were getting their classes online, and he actually surprised them, and you can see him keep popping up in the video chat.
Hello, Miss Millette.
Hello.
This is
that Shaq? Oh my goodness. Hold on a second. Let me see. Hi, Shaq.
Hi, Brianna.
Oh, he said, oh, Brianna.
That was pretty cool.
Man, salute to Shaq, man.
Yeah,
Thank God for Shaq. The world needs more Shaq.
They're doing their lessons over FaceTime. So he is a family friend of one of the students. And so that ended up happening.
I don't think people putting enough emphasis on Shaq's business acumen too, man. Shaq's doing a lot of stuff on the entrepreneurial front. Shaq gonna be a billionaire.
He definitely is, and I think so too.
All right, now Young Berg, he recently was talking about how a lot of artists didn't want to touch him after all the things that he went through, and one person he talked about in particular that would not work with him was Jeezy. Here's what he said.
I ain't gonna lie, like I was at the video, and this when I was in a bad spot. Like it wasn't like a bad spot, but like so much that happened to me, and like street ain't really want to be around me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Jeezy ain't want me in a video. Like it was like a rule. Like I can't be in no shots with Jeezy.
Well, Charlamagne spoke to Jeezy also, and here's how Jeezy responded when he says that artists said that he would not put them on.
But one of the critiques was Jeezy has never put anybody on musically.
I've tried to put people on, but everybody was a part of my first project. They own. Drummer, he might beg to differ, but that Gangsta Grills wasn't in the hood like that until Young was on that thing. Trap or Die was my mentor.
I would agree.
Right, but he probably say something different, but I know better because nobody else got their mixtape played in the club for 5 or 6 hours straight, word for word, with the DJ drops. He knows that.
Yeah, me and Jeezy got a conversation dropping today called 2020 Hindsight. It'll be out at 12:20 p.m. on YouTube. But Young Berg got to understand that, though. When Young Berg was going through whatever he was going through, and when people was treating him like the hip-hop pinata and he was getting his chain snatched and all, yeah, I can see why certain artists wouldn't want to work with him.
Yeah, it was a lot of F-boy-ish, and I think he even knows that, but, you know, it is what it is. He bounced
And that's
back.
when back in the day when people cared about their reputations, their street reputations, you know? Because nowadays, if you got to hit, you got to hit. Plus, he wasn't making beats back then either now. Was he?
I don't think so.
I don't remember him making beats. He was still
more
an
about-
artist.
He was more of an artist. He was Youngberg. Now he's Hitmaker, the producer.
Yeah, I'll
and
take
writer.
a beat
All
from
right.
Hitmaker, but I don't want no verse from Young Berg.
Other things that are dropping today, The Weeknd has a new project, Mac Miller, Sada Baby. Yeah, there's a lot of new music, and I guess we're home, so we're able to listen to whatever we need to listen to. Shout out to everybody that has new music coming out. Also, just pointing out this weekend on Saturday, season 7 of BET Being is starting, and I'm kicking off the new season, Being Angela Yee. So you can check me out. I think that comes on at 10 p.m. Eastern, BET Her. So I'll be featured on BET Being. You get to see what a day is like in my life. And it was pretty cool. So thank you to everybody at BET for including me. And we're kicking off season 7 on Saturday. All right, I'm
That's
Angela
dope.
Yee.
I want to watch
Rumor Report.
I want to watch the Madam C.J. Walker story on Netflix this weekend too. I think that's a good thing, especially if you got, young daughters. Sit them around and get them to know the history of Madam C.J. Walker.
Man, I kept thinking that it was out already. So last week I was watching on Netflix, and I'm like, where is it? Where is it? But it wasn't out yet. But I will definitely be watching that this weekend. Can't wait.